Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our Amazon page. Please remember to shop Amazon, and when you do, go to MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon or click the Amazon link on our website. It's the best way to shop and the best way to support this program. Now, on with the show.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Just get this setting right here.
You want to do that?
Auto lock. Never.
What?
Never. I'm sorry. I'm working on my iPhone right now. Hi. Hi. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show.
Very auto lock. Never.
Never. No, I just when you want to have your screen stay open the whole time, like during this show, you put it on the never feature. It's very final. It's like never, ever. You will die, and the screen will be on.
Mike is broadcasting live from Castle Grayskull.
Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show. Good to be back. Thank you to Oscar and Rob for covering for me yesterday. They are very good friends, and they're very supportive when I need to step away for a moment, and I had some last-minute stuff come up yesterday. So thank you, brothers in arms, beloved friends.
We can't
not
help
just
it when you have connectivity issues, Mike. We can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but the fact is,
dragging wire all morning, you were exhausted.
The fact is, I know I was a handful with all the crap. There are Comcast trucks all over this neighborhood right now. The ultimate result of this will be better than it was before. We will make Steve Austin better, but it's been problematic, and I truly appreciate the coverage and all that wonderful stuff. So we have a very special guest that we're going to be joined by at the front of the show today, and this was one of the highlights of my career, one of the best moments. We took the road trip to Iowa, sold it as a DVD back in the early incarnation of the Mike O'Mara podcast, and we traveled across the country in an RV. We went to Iowa. We went to Kinnick Stadium. And I had never, ever in my lifetime experienced, as most of the guys in our crew had not, the big program, the big football program, and the big school, the big Midwestern experience.
You didn't do any football games at AU?
I did a baseball game. I did play-by-play for the American Eagles versus the Green Tide of Tulane. That's the only baseball game that I ever covered. We did not have a college football team. We had a college basketball team. But I never had the feeling of what it is to be in a big program. Even my father, who went to Holy Cross, and they had a good football team, and they played, Ivy League schools like Dartmouth and Harvard, and I don't know, is Dartmouth Ivy League? I don't know. But anyway, it was not the big program. So going to Iowa and going to Kinnick was a big deal. But the highlight of the trip is that Kevin Castens, the director of the band at the University of Iowa, the Hawkeye Marching Band, Kevin Castens, who is a fan of the show, allowed me to conduct the Iowa Hawkeye Marching Band during the game, and it was one of the great thrills of my life. And I have a soft spot for these band guys.
Yes,
I think they're pretty terrific human beings, and they're pretty wonderful guys dealing with the kids. And Kevin Costens is packing it in after 137 years of directing the Iowa Hawkeye Marching Band. He is going to be leaving the school, and what a career! We've got Kevin right now. Kevin Castens, welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show.
Greetings from Iowa City.
Oh my goodness, you sound so far. Rob, I don't think we can do the music.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Or you need to turn him up so loud that so I can hear him. That would be wonderful.
Give him a try. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
Doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Better.
Hey, great. Now, how many seasons have you been running the band program, the Hawkeye Marching Band at the University of Iowa? How long has it been?
It's been 20 years.
20 years, and you have spent the past 40 years conducting high school and college bands, and the last 20 at the University of Iowa. You have had a tremendous impact on the program, and we're here just because we wanted to say thank you on behalf of, I'm sure, everybody at the University of Iowa, and also from everybody at the Mike O'Mara Show. What are you doing? Are you going to be sitting on a rocking chair? Are you going to be out on the golf course? Are you just totally throwing it away now and just going to be retired, or are you going to do other things, Kevin? What's the plan?
Well, I'm going to slow down the pace just a little bit, but I'm going to get a chance to know my grandchildren a little bit better. They live down in Arizona, spend a little time down there. One of the great things about being a college marching band director is that we have this thing called homecoming, and alumni bands. And so I'll still get to stay connected after our new person gets established in a couple of years. I'll come back every year at homecoming and work with. I have 20 years of alums, and it's just great to stay connected with them. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
You know, Kevin, my friendship with Michael Colburn, who was the director of the Marine Band, and then also now he's at Butler University. It's an interesting group of people. There's interesting connectivity among people that do what you do. And the thrill is that you're right, 20 years of alumni, 20 years of friendships and people that you have made better musicians. And it's a very giving community, is it not? The community of a college level and people that do these bands. It's very, very, very wonderful. I think it's great to watch. It's a sensitive, wonderful, caring group of people, is it not?
Oh, it is. It's a very close-knit group. It's a very small world. It's amazing. People know people. We're very well networked. And, again, we just get to work with just amazing students. And as you probably know, the majority of the band, of the Hawkeye March Band, for example, majority of the students are non-music majors. 88% this year are non-music majors. So we have students from 53 different degree programs, and so we have future doctors and pharmacists and businessmen and lawyers in the marching band. So they're just great students to work with.
All right, I have to tell you, this is my dumb question in this interview with you, and it's not really an interview. It's really just our chance to say thank you for all you've done for the University of Iowa. I'm standing next to Steve Bridges, and Steve and I are having a conversation in the parking lot, and that's exactly what he's sounding like as I'm talking to him. And Kevin, and maybe you can explain this, because they weren't playing, but this was the coolest thing to me. They're making their way into Kinnick, and I hear this. It's this kind of chanting that goes on. They weren't playing the drummers were maybe playing the rims on their drums as they were marching, but they were doing these chants. Is that some sort of devil worship, Kevin? What's going on with it?
Well, in addition to being just wonderful students, they're also kind of goofy. We have cadences that we use when we march to the stadium, and they just have vocalizations that go with it. They just have fun with the cadences, and most of them are cheers for the Hawkeyes and the let's beat the opponent type of thing. But no, they're just having fun on the way to the stadium.
Were you at the Ohio State game this year?
Oh, absolutely. That was just amazing. It's really funny because I've been getting a lot of questions about, what's been your best highlight over these 20 years. Well, right. Just look back 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Oh, see, that's when the University of Iowa, that's when the Hawkeyes upset Ohio State, which is just like that's the Mac Daddy right there. And I would imagine, is there a rivalry with because Ohio State pretty well known for their marching band. When you go in there, do you experience the sense of competition when you bring that Hawkeye marching band into Ohio State?
Well, I think that anytime we play a school, whether we're on the road or a visiting band comes to Kinnick Stadium, that there is a little bit of competition and rivalry, but in the end, students get together, and we're all from the same fraternity, so to speak, and so when we're performing a pregame and halftime, yes, there's some rivalry. We want to do our best, but the great thing about the Big Ten, there are just wonderful bands throughout the Big Ten, and we all have a lot of respect for each other, and we all have different traditions. And
got to be one school, Kevin. There's got to be one. I know you're being nice and you're on the radio. Come on, Kevin. What's the program where you go in and you say, "Drum majors, kick their butts"? There's got to be one school where you have a right. It had to be Ohio State, right?
Got to be.
It's one, and we don't play Ohio State all that often. I know that we have probably a little more rivalry with Wisconsin, and more recently with Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska, the Huskers, that's right, and the Badgers, the Badgers, as they pronounce it up in that part of the country. Are there any standout students that you would like to mention in your illustrious 20 years of running the marching band at Iowa?
Well, I think one of the things that just happened this year, we have our first female drum major in the modern era. The last time we had a female drum major was World War II, and she's just doing an outstanding job this year. So we've had just a lot of
It's not the same lady, is it?
Pardon?
It's not the same lady.
No, it's not.
Okay, just checking.
That's because they have a new one.
Bless her heart, she's still out there getting it done, Mike. She's 78 years old.
But that's breaking the glass drumhead, I guess, right? Is that what it is?
At the University of Iowa, and it's great. And I think what's going to happen now in the future, the guys are going to have a lot more competition. A lot of girls are going to come forward, I think, in the future to audition for this position.
That's awesome. And your love of the Mike O'Mara Show, when did you develop that possibly destructive habit?
Yes.
It goes way back, actually, to the Don and Mike Show. So I've been
way
listening
back
to it.
when.
Wow.
Way back
I
when.
didn't know you were
And
listening.
I grew up
to
in
that, man.
Chicago, in suburban Chicago, so I grew up WLS and Don Geronimo. Yeah, so it's been a long time.
So what you're saying is basically my ex-radio partner is the only reason you started listening to me.
But I continued listening to you.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's a good thing. It was such a thrill when I got a chance to do that. I didn't realize that I was going to get a little, fear of heights, a little acrophobia when I stood up on that
What is
step ladder
is
that you
6 or
conduct.
8? Is it 6 or 8 feet? I have such a clear image of seeing you lead the band. Was
Terrifying.
It's 8 feet.
Wow.
It's
Whoa.
8 feet, Rob. I was 8 feet in the sky, trying to keep my balance
Cheated
with
death.
with just a teeny hangover. It was very difficult that I was dealing with that. Is there anything that what's your legacy? What do you want to be known for at Iowa? I mean, is there any parting words? I guess is what I'm looking for, Kevin.
Well, I think one of the things, being a Big Ten college marching band director, it's truly an honor to uphold the musical traditions of the university. Our fight song, for example, was written by the music man himself, Meredith Wilson.
You have that,
so
don't you?
there's
Rob?
certain-
You have the.
So there's certain, just an honor, I guess I can't think of a better way to put that, to maintain, we have the traditional forms spelling out Iowa and Hawks and pregame, and I added the Tiger Hawk logo to our pregame show. But just to maintain the music and the traditions of the university, it's just been great over these last 20 years.
Has your replacement been named yet? Do you have a role in that replacement being named?
The search is ongoing. They're going to bring finalists to campus in February, and my role will basically be to answer any available questions, and I will also be available to help the new person in any way that they need some assistance come next summer.
Well, you are beloved at the University of Iowa, and we are
Thank
proud
you,
to know you, and we wanted to just get you on and tell you that, and really all the students that praise you for sustaining and enhancing the traditions of the University of Iowa. It's the only Big Ten program we've been around, and you were a large part of that.
Marvelous.
Congratulations. Good luck with your grandchildren and traveling
Thank you.
down to Arizona in your future endeavors, and we'll see you at all the homecoming weekends, Kevin.
Sounds great, and come on back to Iowa City sometime.
Thank you very much.
love it.
That's Kevin
Thank you.
Castens,
Hey,
ladies
Kevin.
and gentlemen. Woo! He is Mr. Iowa Marching Band, and it was a memory that I still bring up, and I recall when they're coming into the stadium. They're not playing their instruments; they're just going march, march.
How do you remember that? That's amazing.
Because it was, I love parades,
Yes.
right? I love marching.
You've always
I love,
said
if
that.
you,
I
if you,
love parades.
a good parade.
oh, it's not like
Any
that.
day.
I
Make
love.
the rain go away.
It was just so cool. And at that moment, I had this amazing feeling of not having that in my college career.
Yeah.
If I'd known that, I wished it for my daughters. They went to a small school. I wish it for my son. I'd love him to be part of the big program. You kind of get lost in the shuffle
It
at
was
these
an
massive
amazing,
universities.
It was,
but,
I think, 70,000 at the game we went to at Kinnick. I think that number comes to mind. And again, from VCU, we didn't have anything even close to a sporting program that approached that. We had basketball. That's it. And
Do you remember the other memory when we were driving away from the stadium by that football player? I forgot what his name was. You
Bill
might remember
Windauer.
it. Bill Windauer. Thank you, Rob. Good pull. Bill's giving us a ride.
Yes,
and,
he is.
I said, well, they party pretty hardy at the University of Iowa, Bill. He said, yeah, but you know what? Everybody's always really well behaved. And about the moment he said that, we turned a corner, and there was a Ford Explorer SUV that had driven through a plate glass window.
I remember that.
Right? Do you remember that moment?
do.
Remember that moment? We said, yeah.
Pretty
Looks
well
like
made.
everybody's.
Oh,
looks like
God.
everybody's on their finest behavior in Iowa. You know?
well, they took a wrong turn and went through a window.
There are, and where I live down here, in Cocoonville, where I live down here, there are actual Iowa Hawkeye flags in certain yards. That's how
cool.
That's how plugged in this place is to Iowa. And as I mentioned before, when I mentioned I'm on the radio up there, they go, "Oh, nice." Anyway, it's.
Do you
it's
know
the
Bill
way things
Windauer?
are.
He broke a window once.
Yeah, broke that. Bill Windauer. That is so cool. I'm going to remember that. And I think it was in the words of Steve Bridges,
Yeah.
who said, how much is the hotel going to cost for you? Anyway, that's what it was.
I remember a
with
call
that.
from Steve when he said, "Yeah, well, is anyone going to sleep on the RV?"
Question for you, and this we
Yeah.
can dovetail and get our whole Iowa thing out at the front of the show.
Sure.
You had mentioned to me yesterday that in the TV show that we're watching on Netflix, which is Mindhunter.
And I've been trying so hard to watch it, but with kids running around, it's really not a good kid show. If there's not a penis, there's a head being blown off, or some guy is making love to a woman. So it's really not great for kids.
Very uncomfortable.
So I'm almost through episode 1, and they're going on their first field trip. You know, they're being sent out around the country. And they go to Fairfield, Iowa.
This is the television show Mindhunter, which we talked about a lot on the show.
Serial killers.
Yeah.
Rob picks up on this, which is just incredible.
This is the
this is our
set.
friend Steve Bridges.
The scene set in Fairfield, Iowa, and I have a little bit of the scene before, so you have it in context. Okay.
Oh, come on, you're not leaving.
I have to get up early. Tomorrow's the first day of school.
99 plus KFMH, Muscatine, Davenport, and Iowa City.
That's Steve's internet radio
Steve Bridges
station.
on TV on the Magic Show.
Oh my God!
Let's hear that again. And remember, that's Steve's serious broadcaster voice.
99 plus KFMH, Muscatine, Davenport, and Iowa City.
Let's do a simulcast. Get him on the line.
All
Get
right,
him on the
Mama.
line. We have to do it.
What is
Let's
he
do it. Let's do a
doing
simulcast with
on
Steve
that
Bridges.
television show?
Well, I want to know.
don't
Look,
know.
I have been on TV shows as a radio guy. I think, or was I a TV announcer?
You were,
I don't even remember
the
the
most recent
show.
one was it called Yes Dear?
Yes, dear.
And
by the way, do a little filmography on that, and Rob will be. Rob, that was kind of. I don't know if that was an intentional dig or not. The most recent one, Mike. The most recent one was 1957.
Mike was on
when
your
you were on the
show
show.
of
Yes,
shows
dear.
with Carl Reiner.
That was a very, very long time ago.
No, but the
they ain't
backstory-
knocking anymore.
The
What's that?
backstory is that the producer and writer of Yes Dear interned for you at WAVA, and he actually is an Emmy winner, Greg Garcia.
Is he still making TV?
I think he's mostly counting his money. I haven't seen him do much lately.
All right.
And
All right.
he called you and said,
Lauren Roan is calling you. I apologize to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
well, I can't take that call just now.
Tell her you're working.
We're doing
Who's
the show.
Lauren Roan?
She is, I believe, someone with ad results. I will call her as soon as the show is over.
Oh, that's a very
Call her
important
back
call.
later.
I will.
That's
All
a,
right.
no, you call her back promptly.
Yes, I always do.
Absolutely. You know,
So,
it's Christmas time, boys.
So we got a call from
best time.
We got a call from Greg Garcia, and he wanted you to voice a voiceover. They were watching TV. It was a duck pin bowling tournament.
Yeah.
And
God, your memory. I love it. It's like having an historian right here. And I
you
got,
did
I
it
got
like Keith
paid
Jackson.
for it.
I'm calling Steve.
Oh, Nelly.
Yeah, he said-
Calling Steve Bridges at KCJJ, our flagship station in
Real
Iowa
time.
City.
Yeah, they're on the
Iowa.
air right now.
Calling him right now.
We're doing the boarding show.
Rain, I think you're through this afternoon. Tonight, cloudy. The rain
Oh, there's
Oh,
Justin
this is
doing the
perfect
weather.
timing coming out of the news. Quiet.
up
Here we go.
to 41. Tomorrow, we may see a little light snow mix in with the rain right away in the morning.
Light
Then
snow.
gradually
Yeah,
uptick
light
in the
snow.
afternoon. 42
With
to
40% less
50.
calories.
We're about to go on KCJJ where we're going to be on later. So it's going to be real confusing.
Welcome to the future.
It's 35.
This is Back to the Future.
They're brought to
TV.
you by the Westport Touchless Auto Washes. Mr. Franz, you are in the running for a beautifully canned.
Yeah, you
Still have a full turkey dinner from the.
Mr. French.
Yeah, you still have.
They dig up Sebastian Cabot or something? What's going on?
Sexy.
Time and try
I
again.
like listening.
Hello.
Listen.
Hey.
Is this Steve Bridges?
Yes.
Steve Bridges, this is your afternoon show, calling on your morning show, because we wanted to call in and say hello. We just had Mr. Kevin Castens on the Mike O'Mara show, and by the way, you can hear that interview right at the beginning of the show at 5 o'clock this afternoon on KCJJ, the mighty
Actually,
KCJJ.
It's 4:30.
Oh,
4:30.
4:30.
Oh, we're on at 4:30 now.
Let's do it.
You've been on at 4:30 for years.
Got to put in more spots, Mike. Lots of
I'm
commercials.
sorry. So 4:30, you'll hear that interview right at the front of the show with the director of the Iowa Hawkeye Marching Band, Mr. Kevin Castens. But then we began to talk about Steve Bridges, and we are all addicted to the Netflix show Mindhunter, which we have already all binged, except for Rob. And Rob found KCJJ's Steve Bridges at the front episode of Mindhunter. You're a television star, Steve.
I know. It sounded something like this.
Tomorrow's the first day of school.
99.5 KFMH.
He has it ready. He has it standing by.
Now, Steve, I have
That's the tone.
I have a
for the whole
question.
show.
I have a question for you, Steve. As an older gentleman, who explained Netflix to you?
I am still happening.
I'm still happening. I am Still
is
happening.
awesome.
Steve, we just wanted to call and say hi and find out how everything's going up in Chile. I heard that forecast at the end of the news, and Mr. French was telling us about the snow flurries. You could get snow up there, or what?
We could get a little bit of snow. Yeah, next week's Thanksgiving. Who wants to try to win a Thanksgiving turkey? How about you? How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I'll play.
Are you ready to play the Great American Turkey Shoot?
I'm ready. I'm ready, Steve. I'm ready to play the Great American Turkey Shoot. Let's do it.
Here you go, Mike.
Okay. F that.
What's great about that?
This station sucks.
How about you, Oscar? You want to play?
Let's do it.
All right, let's play with Oscar, the Great American Turkey Shoot. Oh, you miss me.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold everything. Who's voicing the haha you miss me? Please tell me that's you.
No, it is not.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Is it Tommy Lang?
No, you'll be hearing that, by the way, next season on Mindhunter.
Rob, do you want to play?
I'd love
Rob
to
play.
Can I play? I want to win a turkey.
I bet Rob wins.
Let's play with Rob. Here you go. Oh, you got me!
Big winner, big
Rob
winner.
won the turkey.
This is the greatest show ever.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, enough of the cross promotion. We just want to say congratulations. Give our best to all of you up there for a great Thanksgiving holiday. And keep doing the TV shows, Steve. It's absolutely wonderful. You guys keep rocking, okay?
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye. See you later. Bye-bye.
Great
Get 'em off the
American
line. There we
Turkey
go.
Shoot.
Oh, my God.
You miss me.
You know
you
what?
got me.
I don't know how long we've been on their radio station, but I will tell you that is old school fun.
I feel like he has a cart machine.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's like playing everything off a cart machine.
I envision the cart machine when he asks, oh, I happen to have that handy, putting it in a cart machine and playing it right there.
Click.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Whole Les Nessman vibe. All right. On that note, thanks to Kevin Kasdans. Thanks to Steve Bridges. Thanks to KCJJ. And thanks to that affiliate for keeping us on for these many years. Happy Thanksgiving, Iowa. We'll be right back, everybody.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
I didn't do very well academically, which pissed off my dad, who had already been pissed off since World War II. Ever notice as your dad gets older, the pants go one of two directions? As my dad started getting older, the pants started creeping up on him. Up and up and up. By the time he was 65, it was just a belt and a hat. By the time he retired, he actually had pulled down his zipper to drive. He'd get mad, boy, and I could see him shaking there. He'd start shaking, and coffee would be coming out of his nose. Listen, you little bastard, I'll flip you like a cheese omelet, pal. I'll roll you out like wholesale carpeting. I'll sink you like a 3-foot putt, buddy. Why, I can do it. And he'd try and kick me, and his slippers would fly off. And I'd have to bring dates home and introduce him to my dad.
Sandy, this is my father, Mr. Allman. He's just standing there jiggling his nuts. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, don't give me that, buddy boy. I'll stop you like a bad check, pal. I can do it, too. I'll slap you past payday, believe me. He carried about $1,000 of change in his pockets. He looked like a slot machine getting ready to pay off, you know?
It's the Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his office chair, here's Mike.
We are live from the Pfeiffer Studios in our nation's capital. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. We are a worldwide podcast and radio show. I love radio. With loyal listeners who get it. And if you're here, you are in the know. We are on air, on demand, and heard 24/7 on the new TMOS app. Update it now. Get our show all day, every day. You can reach us, 888-920-MORE. That's 888-920-6673. The Mike O'Mara Show is on now and brought to you by Anime USA
Yeah.
2017. Christmas in Japan. How excited are you, Pony?
I'm super excited, Mike.
It shows.
The event is happening at the.
He loves action.
That's about as excited as I get.
Yeah.
That's right. The event is happening at the Washington Marriott Wardman Park Hotel, December 8th through the 10th. If you love anime, this convention is the place to be. And if you're just curious, come out and see what it's all about and see the cute people in the costumes.
Love the outfits. Great outfits.
Cosplay.
Yeah.
That's cosplay, right?
Cosplay.
That's where you get these babes dressing up as superheroes and
Yeah,
men
definitely.
too. I'm sorry,
Well,
I don't
yeah.
want to. I
Men
want to be
and
an
women.
equal opportunity. Especially in this climate. If you love anime, this convention is the place to be. And it's a lot of stuff going on there. Dozens of tables, exhibitors for you. Check out the details at animeusa.org. This is a big one, is it not? This is a big event.
Huge, yeah.
It's huge.
Enjoy a bite at the Maid Cafe.
Oh,
It's the only part of this commercial makes me a little curious. An
tradition,
authentic
Mike.
Japanese experience
It
where
is.
you're served your meal by women dressed as maids. Will you be enjoying a meal by a server dressed as a maid,
Oh,
Tony?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for the turkey sandwich. See Japanese arcade games that aren't yet available in the USA. Meet sword forger Matt Stagmere. He's a professional bladesmithing host of the YouTube series Man at Arms. I watch it. And, of course, fantastic cosplay. Come be a part of it. It's fantastic. For tickets and more info, visit animeusa.org. Use the code TMOS17A. That's the Mike O'Mara Show 2017 anime.
Exactly.
TMOS 17A. Get 20% off your regular admission. Kick off your holidays with Anime USA 2017, Christmas in Japan. Come out and see Pony Boy. Get your tickets today at animeusa.org. And remember the code TMOS 17A for 20% off regular admission.
If
Thank
you don't have a
Dave.
pencil
Thank you.
right now, you can click their button on our website. It'll
Yeah.
give you that code.
Right there
And
at the top.
If I can put a quick button on the Castens interview, he already
Yes.
sent me a text saying thank you for having him on. And
Very
one
nice
thing
man.
he wanted to mention is that in the 20 years that he led the Hawkeye Marching Band, there were 2 celebrity guest conductors. You
That's
were
it?
one of them. Only
Whoa.
Did he mention the other one? I'm curious who the
2. He
other
mentioned
one
the
was.
other one, yes. It was Tom Arnold.
Whoa.
Famous Iowan Tom Arnold.
He's a famous Iowan.
He is a famous Iowan
I
from
know
the
he
state
is.
of Iowa.
Really?
He's
Only
successful.
Yeah.
2? Wow, that's
You're successful.
That's pretty amazing, Mike. That
You're
really
both
is.
white.
Yes.
A lot in common.
Yeah.
Kevin's
But
white.
You're the
What
only
is
one.
white? Why are you bringing race into this?
I could say
Why
you're
are
both.
you soiling
you're
this
both men of
wonderful
larger
memory
carriage.
for me?
You want me to start with that? I was building up to that.
Yeah, both
We're
recovering
both
addicts.
white. Oh, we're such a sensitive society.
Both married
you know?
before.
Yes, several
I mean-
times.
Hey, let me give a shout out to Senator Al Franken as the Men Are Pigs tour continues, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He played Tune in Tokyo at the wrong time, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating. Leanne Tweeden, our paths crossed a couple of occasions because she is a Manassite, and she
I
used
had
to run
no idea.
with some friends of mine, and I got a chance, I think, on a couple of occasions to meet her. And very, very lovely young lady. And, the allegations yesterday, they really weren't allegations because I think Franken
Well, they had a picture,
actually
yeah.
said, well, he says he remembers this kiss thing differently, so he hasn't copped to that. But you can't argue with the picture where he's, pretending to put his hands on her chest as she's sleeping. There's just no good that can come out of that when you're a United States Senator,
No.
especially with all the climate being what it is. There's there's one right before we went on air today. I forgot which one that was. Somebody else. A show business
Let me look.
person.
Let me look.
There's a
Did you hear-
brand new one that is.
Did you hear the statement that Al Franken issued?
Yeah,
thought
well,
it was very
I read
defensive.
it. I don't.
Well,
did
actually,
he say something?
Yeah, I have the tape here. Hold on.
Okay.
I deserve good things. I am entitled to my share of happiness. I refuse to beat myself up. I am an attractive person. I am fun to be with.
See, I think that's very wise outlook to take. He's fun to be with, and what he
He's
was
fun
just,
to
you know
be
what he
with.
was doing? Maybe Mike, has anyone fought this? Maybe he was just trying to make some fun. They're over there on a USO tour, and he's
Rob,
keeping
you
it
can't
light.
defend it
Yeah, there's
anymore.
no
Not in
way,
this day and
Yes.
age. There's
All right.
there's no
When are you
defending
gonna get that
pretending.
memo?
Whether and by the way, because I wear the Democrat jersey, I was looking at the shadow of his hand to determine if there was contact or not.
Was there
And it's-
contact, Columbo?
I don't believe there was contact in the sense of real touching.
Yeah.
I think it was close enough and you saw a bit of a shadow, but it doesn't matter because right now the way things are going, we are seeing, as we mentioned the other day, a sea change in our American culture where men, certainly men in positions of power, but pretty much men all over the place are going to have to change the way they behave. And by the way, the whole situation with all of this coming forward. You're looking at the picture right now, Rob. Did you?
I'm looking. I know the Franken picture. It's. I mean, there is, for the context and because they both acknowledge the situation, there is no dancing around what actually happened.
And I hope people know that I was being ironic when I was saying what I was saying.
But
before.
he's not. He's apologized already.
Yeah,
so he's accepted that, and
that doesn't change the fact he was a dick when we had him on the show either.
He was a dick when he was on the show.
Yeah, and I would like to like him. I really would, but
he's got that, that kind of demeanor, and then he does that, and this is a guy that is a very vocal spokesperson for one team, and he's got to, you got to keep your nose clean. You're not, if you're thinking about being a United States senator, why do you think DJs don't run for office? You know how many things it's just like,
for one thing, they're idiots.
No, I'd be 2 weeks out from an election, and somebody said, "Was this your newsman that you put a dildo on his face and had him?" You know what I mean? That's the type.
They
can't
put the cigar
escape
where,
that crap.
Mr. O'Mara?
Yeah, you can't escape that. It's over.
Right,
it's over. Forget about it.
This headline from the Hollywood Reporter that Adrian just brought up: Transparent star alleges Jeffrey Tambor sexually harassed her.
That's old.
That's
not
old?
the
Okay.
newest one.
All right,
that's not the
Tambor's
Tambor's there.
What about this one from People.com? Donald Trump's sexual assault accusers demand justice in the Me Too era. I never even thought about that.
Well, but it still counts as the old one because the Trump thing happened already, and but I was reading an article.
Think about the persecution now. And this is not, look, you know what my politics are. I'm just saying I had not even put those two together because I'm so wrapped up in Weinstein and this Moore guy, right? Mm-hmm. That I'm just like, while people, I don't know what their politics are, People.com.
Sylvester Stallone, boys.
No,
there it is.
That is alleged. I read that story. That is still alleged when he was in Las Vegas and the girl was 16.
But I mean, I'm saying that it doesn't matter whether it's an allegation or whether it's true. I'm talking about allegations here. Yeah. That's why I mentioned that's the latest one is Sylvester Stallone. I mean, it's all over the place. And the fact is that we have to accept the reality as men that life is going to change, and if you have no more
hanky panky,
no more figgy miggy, Mike.
No more what?
Figgy miggy.
That already sounds illegal on many levels.
Yeah, you have to be aware more of controlling what your wiener wants you to do.
Yeah.
And that is unfortunately there's an expression, thinking with the big head.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. That's just going to be reality, and you know what? If it prevents anybody from getting hurt either emotionally or physically, I am all for it. And I also thank my lucky stars that it's not 1987.
Do you think Franken is going to lose his Senate seat? I don't think he's going to lose his Senate seat.
No, I don't think so, because I think that, you've got look, I understand it was hurtful, and I also understand that he accepted responsibility for it. What, I think it's exactly what Leanne Tweeden said, that she's able to forgive him and I think her quote was she doesn't believe he should be run out of the Senate if there are no other incidents. But what we have seen time and time again is when you get this kind of behavior, and she said something, and this is for all the women who have been through this. This is what resonates with me. When she said, for the rest of this tour that they were on, I didn't want to be in a room alone with him. I believe that with all of my heart. I truly do. Because when a guy just can't keep from being the creepy, and all women have, at the very least been around creepy guys that, that behave in that way. And I think that many men.
Steve Mermelstein.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there.
I think every man in this room has probably had a moment where we thought we were maybe behaving a little creepy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? By saying something.
Yes means yes, Mike.
Listen
no means no.
Listen to the point guy. Listen to the poster child for
exactly.
it. Right, no, it's just we're guilty. We're guilty because we think with our. That's it.
We're
This
disgusting.
is going to be a wake up call where you just say, "Hey, you might want to do something. You might think it's funny." And by the way, hiding it in the joke world when you're taking that little picture, it's still what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's obvious you're a guy. We're
says,
guys. We know
It was
that.
meant to be a joke, but obviously not a funny one.
Yeah, and this is something that's been going on forever. And if it gets changed, I'm all for it. That's the way. That's the
Was
way
she
I
a radio
look at that.
personality back then when you knew her?
I think she went on Elliot in the morning. I think she went on Elliot in the morning, and she
She's
was
on in L.A. now.
I think she worked at Hooters
Damn.
too. She worked at Hooters. She was very, very attractive, and and now she did some stuff on Hannity too,
And for FHM and Maxim.
Really?
Yeah, and yeah, she was
she's crafty.
very, very
she
attractive.
gets around.
Rob, why do I think you're
what?
the only one that doesn't get it?
Because he's an animal.
No, I'm just saying that she's everywhere.
No, you're not.
That's exactly what I said. Read the
You
transcript.
said
store.
she gets around.
She does get
that's-
around.
You have to be careful.
Yeah, come on.
Send
man.
letters to Mr. Rob Spiewak.
I'll
That's
read
what
them
you
all.
have to do.
I promise.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh, God. We open up that can of worms. We'll take a break. Trouble at T-Ball. I will tell you all about it. The brawl after T-Ball.
Don't you think the most harassing Rob's ever done is giving a young lady like a canned ham? Like
Yeah.
something like that. Like he's done nothing along the point.
Yes, but I expected something in return.
But he's
No, if you wanted to really me to speculate on the worst harassment Rob does, but I bet he's done it a lot.
What?
Hugs that last too long. We'll take a break and never. Just a little
Mike,
uncomfortable.
I'm never the first one to let go. That's my policy.
That's with me too. That's with me too. And I love to hug Rob.
Yes.
And,
One time we hugged
went-
for 2.5 days.
Yeah, it was incredible. I let go first. I
and
said I'll
broke
never
up.
beat him. I'll never beat him. We'll be right back, everybody.
Hi there. Orson and I would like to tell you about a fantastic way that you can help the Mike O'Mara Show.
Yes.
It's through the Amazon portal at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
I think it's so nice that you see.
Right. Just click on the Amazon tab and you can shop to your heart's content.
Every July, peas grow there.
Not quite. But every time you make a purchase, Mike and the guys get a little taste of the Amazon action.
We were onto a can of peas, a big dish of peas.
It's okay. You can buy peas through Amazon, even a gonk.
What is a gonk?
Well, I'm not sure. But it doesn't cost you anything, and you help keep that funny train chugging along.
This is a lot of you know that.
Well, I think it's a fine way to help support the Mike O'Mara Show.
Now, what is it you want?
Just do your Amazon shopping through the portal at MikeO'MaraShow.com. And when you buy something, say something.
Such pests.
Hello?
Hello? Thank you, Jim Amato. We appreciate that. When we talk about Amazon every day, and we mention it every day, I really hope, Oscar, that it's getting through to people that we're coming up on the season that is so very, very important to the health, financial health of this show. I hope people understand with all the fun that Jim Amato has and all the wonderful things and the fun we have with our commercials, I hope they get it. I hope they get it that shopping for Amazon stuff through our page is really
It's
a huge
so
deal,
easy.
especially during the holidays.
And for those of you getting a head start on the holidays, remember, it's just click through our website, use our
That's
app,
it.
whatever you want.
And by the way,
Got a
it's not
logo
a
right
head
there.
start right now because the holidays are here.
They're
here,
Start your
baby.
shopping, start your decorating. You got to get it done and get it done through our portal.
Yeah, welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. The holidays are here, and you're going to be proud, and you're going to be around family and friends that only you see this time of year. You want to look good. Well, you can look your best thanks to Hims. That is a new wellness brand for men. For Hims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness just for men. Thanks to science, baldness is optional. I hope you're aware of that.
True.
You don't have to lose your hair. Keep your hair in spite of your genetics. Hims has FDA-approved, well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. Not herbal supplements. These are prescription solutions backed by science.
Science!
You're beautiful. Science.
Science.
There's no waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. You can save hours by going to forhims.com. That's forhims.com. Just answer a few quick questions. The doctor will review your case and prescribe exactly what you need, and it's delivered directly to your door. Order now. Our listeners get a trial month of everything you need to keep your hair for just $5. Do it today while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/TMOS. That's forhims.com/TMOS. Look better, feel better, do better with Hims. Forhims.com/TMOS, and we thank you. I want to make this a quick break because I do realize that we have Adrian Garcia and Dan O'Brien on campus together today. We will get to them momentarily. We also have a wonderful Oscars take before we get out of here, but I do have to mention this little story last night. Taking my kid to T-ball. The whole thing started by Daddy screwing up when I reach over his car seat to fasten the buckle, and he's got a quarter thing of Gatorade that Mama asked me to throw away. I said, well, he's got a little left. He can drink it on the way to the game. And as soon as I reach over to get the seat, and by the way, car seats, okay?
Boo.
You could make it a little easier to have the seatbelt on one side and buckle on the door side so that when I'm in there struggling to get to get his seat, it would be helpful.
What if you put it on the other side of the car?
He still
because
has to
on
go
the other
around
side of the car, you still have to
side.
go around the outside and go to the middle
it's the
of the seat. You have to
physical
reach
nature
over.
of
You've
walking
had car
across.
seats. Why are you being a smartass? You have car seats. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Mike,
come on, don't you know that? You've had them.
How
You
many
have to
kids
reach
We
inside.
didn't use them.
That's probably true. That's fair. Big Daddy says we don't need these.
We had a Volkswagen. We put them in the thing behind the back seat. It was safe. It's fine.
I turned down the exterior mics, too, because I'm hearing you echo very badly there. The thing about it is that I knocked over the Gatorade. It got on his little white baseball pants, and then he said, it feels hot. It's like there's some chemicals in Gatorade.
Oh, no.
Daddy, it feels
It's
hot.
burning.
So we're halfway. He's crying. We're halfway to the T-ball game. We say, okay, pull over. Get him out of his pants. We go back to the house. I run and get a towel. And we put the towel down on his car seat, dry him off as best we can. It's off to T-ball. I said, well, what about the wet pants? I said, give me the wet pants. I put a Facebook Live up where I hung the pants out the window so that they would dry, and that was successful, although it looked a little silly.
Gatorade.
I spilled the Gatorade on his pants, but everything was fine.
Yeah.
And we get to the T-ball practice, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, you can't throw rocks at the people that are doing the supervising if you're not stepping up to do the supervising.
Oh, yes, you can.
I am not the coach. No, I'm not the manager. If I'm going to bitch about this to people that are there and really mean it, it means I want to step up and do more.
You've done your part.
I'm a third base coach when I go to these T-ball games. I'm comfortable with that role where I say run to third, run to home. That's what I do. That's my thing. But I will tell you, because it was an evening game, and by 5 o'clock, these kids are gassed.
Sure.
4 and 5 year olds are
What are
done.
They don't make them like they used to.
What
Mike.
are they doing evening games for little kids? It's stupid.
Look, it's when you get the field.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they're so active in Florida that they need to get field time,
I
right?
understand.
The fact is, there are 3 kids that post for the other team. So the other team was like not having the weeknight game. The game's usually 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. It's flawless. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's A time for the kids. They play for 2 hours afterwards. It's no problem. But a 5:30 game, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it on any level. The parents are there. All the parents are wiped out from their work day. All the kids are completely gassed and manic. And we get there, and the parent that brought the snacks, which were the little mini Oreos for after the game.
Sure.
Well, someone's gotten into the Oreos, and it happens to be my kid's best friend. And he's chewing the Oreos. I'm like, well, no, you eat the snack after the game's over, and then I get the. It's like, oh, geez. I said, then that kid's mother looks at me and says, "Pick your battles," and I'm like,
well, pick your battles.
Yeah, I'm like,
step off, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's no, stop. So he eats the
Pick your
cookies.
child up from eating the snacks before you play.
He eats the cookies and he gets out into the field, and then the game goes, and they're scattered to start with in T-ball.
Sure.
Right? It's amusing. It's not amusing at 6 o'clock under the lights. It's amusing on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, it's like, Pay every father there, every mother there, every 5 seconds. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention now, Michael. Thank you. And then the game mercifully, and they all bat and they all run around and they
don't embarrass Papa, little Michael. Come on.
Well, yeah. All I know is, and then one of the kids comes up to me and looks at me and goes, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "Okay." I said, "I'm 120. Get on third base."
That is so sweet and innocent, though.
It's very innocent,
like
but I am
Santa Claus is on third base.
I am okay. Okay, I got your candy cane right here, pal. Okay, there you go.
How can I sit on your lap if you don't sit down, Santa?
Okay, the thing is, he saw Santa at the Bass Pro Shops. It was a wonderful Bass Pro Shop Santa.
Santa's already out?
Well, they had him at the Bass Pro Shops, and the picture's free with the frame.
Wow.
We went in. Can we interest you in the package? Nope. Thanks for the freebie. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Beat the crowd by seeing Santa before Thanksgiving.
Why not? You never did?
Smart. It's super
You never did.
No, we always went on Julia's birthday. We made it a special thing.
Papa, my dad never took me to see Santa.
Do you have Santa in your culture?
Papa Noel? Yeah, he would show up with a hefty bag. And he'd say, "Kids, here are your presents," and then walk off and get a scotch. His name was Theo Hyman.
Papa Noel.
Yes.
So the game's over, right? Now, two things happen. This is where I'm not the manager, but I just wish that the coach would have gotten involved. They give him the bats, and they all have bats. They all have aluminum bats, and they're 4- and 5-year-olds.
Oh.
So the bats are everywhere. How no one got hit in the head is beyond me that it didn't happen. But it didn't happen. It was fine. Then at the end, the game's over, and I am like, get me to the car right now. Get this kid, get him a Happy Meal, and get him into the car, and let's get it. But no, someone wanted to play some sort of tag game, and I am not for that. But in this zone of parental indifference,
yes,
I am just sitting there going, Jesus, okay. He'll start crying again. I said, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, then we'll go. I go back over to sit on the bench, and I hear, oh dear, and we turn around, and my kid is flat on his face, and 2 other kids and a parent are standing over him.
That's
I don't
not
know
good.
how it happened.
Not good.
Man.
He did a face plant, running around with the other kids. I don't know what went down, but he sits back up, and he's got the shiner already. He's got the welt and the entire side. He went face first, and he is sobbing.
On your watch.
Well, my wife was there too, so we were both there. They were running around in the field, and I wanted to go home, but no, we got to, they're completely gassed.
Yeah, and
for Christ's sake.
To be fair for Mike and Carla, you've got, 20 kids. They're all the same age, and they're all wearing the same outfit. You can't pick them out of a crowd.
But they're all running. This was not the time to run around. They were out of control an hour ago.
Sure.
Get them the food after the game when they should eat it, and put them in a car. And that's it. But so we go home, and I mean, he has the shiner. And woke up this morning. It was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was grateful for that. You get that feeling. Carla's so much better at it than I am. But the other parent was there that was standing over my kid. And I did not want this little game to happen in the first place. And I'm just sitting there going, hair on the back of my neck, kind of.
Sure.
Okay, I think we need to go home now. And he's like, Daddy, like that. We had to put water on it and stuff like that. It was one of the. And I just sat there and I maybe this is from my day. You see, this is where the 58 years old comes into play, where I'm standing there supervising. But I'm not. My feeling is, if I were to have said something, that would have made me that guy. And it's the same thing.
What did you want to say?
Who said supervise the kids?
Yeah.
Wrangle them. They're impossible to wrangle. I accept that fact, but wrangle them a little better. Raise your voice
to the
above
coaches.
Jimmy Fallon level.
To the coach is what you're saying.
All right.
Is the coach
anyway?
A little cutesy?
I just want to clarify who you're yelling at.
I'm not. I didn't yell at anybody.
No, if you wanted to.
Till right now. This is
could.
when I'm yelling, and you're getting me in trouble by making me clarify who I'm yelling at because you don't have a dog in this fight, and this will come back.
Mark my words. Story, man. I'm on your side.
This will bite me in the ass, Oscar.
And then you'll have a bruise.
And then somebody will make me face plant into the grass. Anyway,
what have we learned? that if you're going to volunteer, volunteer.
Right. Well, but
punt.
I'm not. I'm going to help when I get to the game.
Yeah.
And I've been to this is my third game, so I volunteer when I'm there. I coach third. That's
Someone
it. Someone
better guard those Oreos.
I will step up with the bats. I will step up with the bats.
Good.
I would say put the bats down. I don't believe the kids should have the bats in their hand until the one kid's on deck and the one kid's batting.
Are they
and
all
that's the way
swinging at one time?
They're 7 kids in line with aluminum bats going.
What if you started to patrol around the practice like Joe Clark and Stand By Me with your own bat?
That means they can hardly swing a bat.
Mike.
Put the bat down, Mr. Man.
I dare you, Mike, to send them on laps. Be like, not your turn to bat. See an aluminum bat in your hand, you got to take a lap.
They're precocious. They are
See
precocious.
this little kid running around outfield.
But no game this Saturday because we had it Thursday and no Thanksgiving next week. So a little break from that.
That's nice.
Give his eye a chance to heal. We'll take a break and come back with Adrian and Dan O'Brien right here, and we'll see what's the very latest with intern controversy right now on the Mike O'Mara Show.
This night is gonna last. This week on the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show.
The price to live in a warehouse district, $666,000.
Literally $2/3 of $1 million.
Is the devil's price, A. B. Why would you ever want to live in a place that looks semi-finished?
These look amazing.
Why is it amazing?
Because it's a huge open space. You can put pool tables there.
My question for you is this. How many trips with Oscar to New Orleans do you have to take before you can afford a down payment?
I can apply for some federal affordable housing or something.
And here's what's wrong with the system.
You are.
Affordable housing. Get a job.
I have a job.
Get a better one.
Okay.
The Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Because 5 hours a week just ain't enough. Always available at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Oh, my God. It is true. It's just like what the emails that people send me. It is better when I'm not there. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show.
How dare you?
Brought to you by That's It. Does your sweet tooth need a fix? Or maybe you're looking for some healthy desserts to put in lunches. Let me tell you about an amazing snack I found. It's called That's It.
Hi, Arj.
You're going to love it. That's It started with fruit bars, then veggie bars. And now, get ready. Get ready. You're going to love these chocolate bites.
Yes.
And amazing. They're amazing fruit dipped in dark chocolate. Each pack is around 150 calories, has no preservatives. They're gluten-free, non-GMO, low-fat, no soy, vegan, paleo-friendly. And guess what? They go perfect with wine.
Wine.
You can put these That's It bites, these chocolate bites, you can put them on next to the cheese, on an hors d'oeuvre platter and serve it with wine. That's how good they are. That's It is offering our listeners an amazing deal. Go to that'sitfruit.com, enter my code TMOS at checkout, and save 10% off your order. Do what we all did. Try these new dark chocolate bites. You will love them. Again, go to that'sitfruit.com, enter the code TMOS at checkout to save 10% off your order. Your taste buds and your body will thank you. That's it. Well, they're both in the room. Anybody who's a regular listener to the Mike O'Mara Show knows. I hope not. I don't want a battle royale.
We'll see.
But it's Dan O'Brien and it's Adrian Garcia. They're both here today. Have you boys spoken personally and resolved your differences since we had the altercation on the air?
We have not spoken, no.
There was awkward small talk before the show, and I shut it down. I said none of this yet.
Yeah, no.
Were you? Well, who was starting the small talk?
Of course, it was Adrian.
Yeah.
Well, I would have thought. I chance that it could be either one of them.
See,
Dan
the
O'Brien
problem is he's a motor mouth.
Yes.
Blabbermouth.
Motor mouth.
And he also wanted to diffuse the tension that was in the room.
Yeah, he hates silence.
So Dan, what's the? You're still upset about New Orleans, correct?
I'm half and half. Part of me really wants to stay mad and just let this thing simmer.
Right.
But part of me recognizes that the holidays are upon us, and I want to be a forgiving guy. Dan loves simmering.
Let's go with the first half.
Dan O'Brien, Adrian, I don't want you to feel bad about this, okay? I really don't.
So what you're going to say is not
so what I'm
going to
say, it's not to hurt you. But
okay, I'm ready.
The Dan O'Brien, based on his communication skills,
he is evolved.
I don't want you to feel bad about this. No. But based on his communication skills on Mike, he's becoming He's like really racing up the hit parade.
Oh
on
my God,
interns
he's
right
secretariat and you're a mule.
You know, Rob,
He's not a mule.
I'm trying to
No,
have
he's not a mule.
handle this with
He
responsibility.
just doesn't have the right jockey.
Adrian, I know you came back from New Orleans and you felt unfairly put upon.
Yes.
You know, you two guys probably aren't going to be the best of friends, but I want you two to be able to work together. Where do you see? What's your emotional state right now?
I mean, there's no animosity between us. I mean, I like Dan. We're friends. We're still friends. We'll still be friends.
Dan, can you concur?
It depends on whether or not I get an apology.
Dan, what are you mad at?
Oh, okay, all right. There we are.
Okay.
There we are.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Adrian, do you feel as though that he is owed any kind of apology?
Absolutely
for
not.
Oh
no.
Oh, okay.
Well, someone's going to simmer then.
You.
So why now? Why? Yes, Oscar. Feel free to referee.
Okay.
You're there. I'm down here.
Dan,
It's a good place to be, Mike.
And let's not talk over each other. Let's let each other talk, all right? Dan, name 3 things that you think he should apologize to you for.
I think he should apologize for smoking so much weed in the room when I was there.
One.
I think he should apologize for leaving me at the airport at midnight in the cold.
2.
And I think that overall, he should apologize for not considering my feelings and trying to help, since this was my first live show and I depended on him for help.
3.
All
No
right.
guidance.
He, I think, has clearly presented his case. Adrian, is there any part of you that finds this understandable?
I find it understandable, but Dan doesn't see it from my perspective.
Okay, let's hear your perspective, please.
Number 1, I wasn't in the room smoking weed.
That's a lie.
I mean,
Oh, hold on. All right. So, did you smoke weed in the hotel room
I was
when
vaping.
Dan was in the room with you?
I was vaping. I was using a vaporizer. And
Hold on. Did the vape have marijuana in it?
It did, but it didn't smell like weed, though. The room never at
Hold
one
on.
point
You
smelled
just
like weed.
contradicted yourself. That's so you were smoking weed in the hotel room.
When someone says smoking weed, you picture them like hitting a bowl or
No,
something.
you don't picture. You're either smoking it or you're not smoking it. I am sorry.
You're
but
doing heroin if you're snorting it or shooting it. It's
Right.
still heroin.
There's the buzzer for you. Point 1 goes to O'Brien. I will hear no more arguments on this. Point number 2. Point number 2. What was his second
airport.
point?
The airport.
How many times?
Leaving it. Okay, what's the deal with the airport? Dan, well, recap the whole thing. He left you at the airport, you allegedly, or what?
Yes. I arrived earlier than him. His flight got delayed. I
Remember
went to
that,
his
right.
terminal to help with the bags, and then I get a text because I have to pull out my charger since my phone had died that he had left me when I told him to stay where I was going to be.
Got it.
And he leaves me at the metro. He gets the last train. I have to lift.
Adrian, counterpoint.
One of us had to make it back, Dan.
No, that's
I
not
texted
true.
you twice.
Hold on.
Do
What do you
not
mean by
come to my
Adrian,
baggage claim?
Adrian, what do you mean one of us had to make it back?
Because if we don't make it back, then we both have to lift all the way to the hotel.
Which is better for both of us
help me, Rob. I'm
economically.
confused. I'm
Okay, let me
confused here.
say what happened when you say one of us has to make it back. That means you are essentially abandoning the team, because if you both had to lift together, the lift fee would be the same and you could split it. But what happened is you said, aha, I can go via Metro and save myself money and stick Dan with the entire check for the lift. Is that right?
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
I told
be
Dan
clear
Yes.
as to how I was incorrect.
Because I told Dan, we could have split the lift. That I had no
Okay,
problem with
that's what
splitting
I
the
just
lift.
said, right?
I had no
And-
problem with that. But the
Right.
plan was to take the Metro because we both had Smart Trip cards.
Dan O'Brien, was the plan to take the Metro?
The initial plan was to take the Metro, but I have a problem with me being left behind and him not meeting me at the Metro, because if I was
Because
there at
there's
the Metro, he
equipment to
shouldn't
take.
leave
It's
without
team.
me.
And
It's
also,
team.
yeah,
No
and,
I in team.
And I hate to almost be your devil's advocate here, Adrian, but I have to ask: did you know it was the last train?
No, I did not. I mean, I knew it closed at 11:30, but
So
I did
you
not know.
assumed it was the last train.
I didn't assume anything.
Then why did you get on and not wait?
Because it was cutting close. I didn't
So,
want to risk it.
In your head,
Okay, no, I get that. He said it's cutting it close. He thought that if he waited, he wouldn't be able to get the Metro. and he'd be stuck with a lift fee. And,
but it was a bad decision on all sides for him.
I texted him twice to meet me at the metro stop, not to come to my baggage claim.
Dan, did he text you twice?
It's hard for me to tell because my phone was dead and I had to keep charging and charging.
I am ruling point 2. I rule for Garcia.
Oh, 1-1.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm ruling for Garcia.
It had to be close, though. Had to be close.
It was a close thing, but look, point 1, unbelievably on O'Brien's side. Point 2, if Adrian had not texted and not been thoughtful enough to text, this would be a moot point. But the fact is, no, it is a gray area simply because he did try to communicate.
Okay.
And when he didn't get a response, I would be the same way. And unfortunately, the dead cell phone, by the way, which is used, and I'm not saying you're being dishonest, Dan, because I believe you, but the dead cell phone just way too many times has screwed up communicating. I mean, is that true? All right, point number 3, Dan O'Brien.
I felt that Adrian was inconsiderate with me because this was my first trip, and I did
for the
not
overall trip to New Orleans.
Yes,
Not
and
supportive.
I can provide several instances if you would
Okay,
like.
good.
Could you mention the Halloween night?
Yes. In particular, Halloween night was the first night that Adrian and I had gotten into the hotel.
God, they were there a long time. Like, they were there Halloween
On
night.
tour.
A month before the show.
It was an entire week. Trust me, I know.
Right.
And so I went out and he did not. And I was disappointed because I wanted us to go out together and have a good time together.
Adrian, why did you not
Orleans.
go out on Halloween night, one of the biggest nights, and for New Orleans? Why did you not go out with Dan O'Brien on Halloween night?
Because to me, Halloween isn't that big of a deal. Halloween is my little brother's birthday, so growing up, we always celebrated Halloween with his birthday.
Was your little brother with you?
No, but I wrote him a postcard that night. I was working on Pony's Best ofs. That's what I was doing.
Oh.
No, it was my task, though. It was my task. It was my job.
Oscar working for the show.
Oh, damn.
A major trump card pulled out.
I respect that, but it took you a week to do that.
Yes.
That was because you procrastinated, and that's on you.
Exactly.
All right.
Dan, I need more clarity because I'm not sure how I feel about this one. This is the rubber game of the match here, so I have to find out. Did you feel that he didn't want to go out just because he didn't want to be your pal, or did you feel like he just wasn't motivated to leave the hotel? That maybe it was like getting ready to go out. What was he pot-addled? What was going on?
I'm not really sure. It just seemed like he wasn't motivated like I was to go out and to have a good time. And to me, that was just a little bit upsetting. And I have
you wanted to do a little bonding.
Yes, I wanted to bond with him like I was bonding with the listeners and bonding with everybody that went out on Thursday night and on the several nights when everybody came into New Orleans.
Yeah.
Adrian, what do you say? Last point is yours before I make my final ruling in this inquisition.
We traveled on that Tuesday. Do you know how exhausting traveling is? I mean, I had to talk you off a ledge on Tuesday night, Halloween night, because you had a wardrobe malfunction with your costume.
Oh, I didn't know he had a costume.
What kind of costume? What kind of costume?
I'll send you a picture, Mike. I'm about to send you a picture right now.
For Halloween.
Okay.
What was a wardrobe malfunction? What was it?
Dan's too fat and broke his straps on his fireman costume.
Wow.
I mean, Dan was literally almost in tears. His face were in his hands. I was like, Dan, you look fine, dude. Like, don't worry about it.
All right.
Adrian, you are a dick.
Yes.
This poor man is clearly still wearing his medium-sized shirts. He
I know.
doesn't know he's a large
I was
yet.
the only one that cleaned up after the show. Where was Dan?
Oh, you know what? No.
Obviously at the buffet.
He's
so fat.
I have to say, regardless of his wardrobe malfunction,
He's a
I
fireman.
did can I please share that? You're gonna love this, Mike. You're gonna love this.
Okay.
You're gonna love
Okay.
this.
All right.
Yesterday, as I'm getting debriefed on this trip, again, it's been 2 weeks of debriefing from New Orleans. Dan that night met a young lady, a nurse.
On Halloween night?
On Halloween night. And he went to her place.
Oh.
Yeah, so he can't be that fat.
Yeah.
If he's laying the lumber.
Dan
I got a
O'Brien.
wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, was she puffing on anything in the hotel room?
Okay. Rob. Time and a place. We have to take a break. Oscar, we might not get to Oscar's take. We have to wrap this up with Dan, and it's just too damn good. We'll take a break.
Too fat. He broke his fireman costume.
His fireman costume. Hey, let me tell you the dirty joke about the fireman and the nurse. We'll take a break. Come back with the end of this saga right here on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Cake and cookies. Rob and Katie.
Hey there, this is Katie, and on this week's episode of Cake and Cookies, Rob goes to New Orleans. Dan faces his greatest fear, and my washing machine is full of toilet paper. All that and so much more on Cake and Cookies.
It's the Rob and Katie Show.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by our bonus packages. And the wise man saw a star in the west coast of Florida, and the star was me. And he said, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great laughter, which shall be to all people that give the gift of the TMOS bonus show. And yea, amen, be one of the wise men or women that shares the blessed laughter of the bonus show. A gift that all will cherish. Everyone on your list will rejoice when they receive a year of the TMOS bonus show, full of gold, frankincense, and mirth making. Give the gift, yea, unto the bonus show right now. Remember, the future of our show depends on it. You will find the bonus show wrapped in swaddling clothes and waiting at our website. Go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the bonus banner. Never has such a marvelous gift been so easy to share. It includes access to all our bonus content, and you'll be helping TMOS. Glory to yea unto the bonus show on high, and on earth let there be laughter or so.
Fireman's
thank you.
costume.
All right.
Wait, check your phone, Mike. Check your phone.
Yeah, it's
All right.
very important.
Wow.
This breaking news.
Because we now have photographic evidence
And a show picture.
Oh, yeah.
I love that picture. I love that.
of Dan and his fireman's
Dan
costume.
O'Brien. Dan O'Brien, look, I'm not necessarily going to rule for him on this debate, but he has, as I said, he is climbing the comedy ladder in my eyes.
Hey, Dan, would you be okay if I use this on my Christmas card?
I'd be happy to.
Did you
I'll do a whole
Look.
spread.
This is what's great about Dan. His costume breaks.
Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
ladies.
He's dressed up as a fireman.
Yeah. There you
Can I put out a
He
fire
wanted
in your
Adrian.
unmentionables?
Hold on. I want to get back to
This
Adrian.
looks like clip art from 1989.
Adrian, the dude. Listen, I can relate to the dude. Wanted a wingman, Adrian.
Yeah.
Come on,
We
help
were
him
in New
out.
Orleans. He was going to have a wingman the entire week.
but it
you
was,
didn't
know,
go out.
Halloween.
How old are you, Adrian?
I'm 25. I'm too old, Mike. I
No,
want a
you're not
quiet
too
night in.
old.
I had work to do.
No, you're unmotivated because
I
you smoke
heard
too much weed.
Yes, I heard all your main focus the entire trip was how do I get high?
Yep.
No.
Do I go out? No, I'm gonna get high. Let's go out. No, I'm gonna get high. You just got high.
That's
It
all
was
you
a
did.
business trip.
Yeah,
You
but
still got high.
you got high the entire time.
Your business was to get high. That's the business.
Dan partied the entire beginning of the week, then stayed in the entire end of the week.
Because he was
because I
broke.
couldn't afford it.
Because he gambled all his money away.
Yeah, that is true, but that has nothing to do with this. We all have vices.
I really want an honest answer here. I mean, the fact is, you
Diego
just weren't
is
motivated.
so mad
You,
right
you
now.
weren't.
Sizzling.
Is he mad? Is he mad?
The face that he puts on, because he's got a face when he's happy, which is usually the high
Hey, Diego, I ruled in your favor on the leaving behind thing.
Yeah.
Because you sent the text. That was a win for you. You're 50-50 right now. We haven't wrapped up the decision yet.
I guess.
But the thing about
This is my new screensaver, by the way, if you can see it from there.
That is so great.
For those of you at home, it's
Yeah.
Dan O'Brien and his fireman's
These two
costume.
gems, baby. I did not expect it to
You
be
are
this
welcome,
joyful. Oh my God! So it's he wanted a wingman. Was it just? Come on, were you just too lazy to want to go out?
No, I mean, I was
Or
tired.
motivated?
All right, when
I
you
was
were doing
tired.
the
That's
best
same
of,
as lazy.
when you were doing the
Yeah.
best of that night, when you ostensibly stayed into work because it's a business trip, were you vaping? Tell the
I mean,
truth.
yes, I was, I guess.
Yeah.
The- I
Well,
mean,
there
You
you
wanted
go.
to stay in and get
You
high.
wanted to stay in and get high.
Were you
Dave
jealous?
Advantage. I'm sorry, advantage
Yeah.
O'Brien.
Were you
that
jealous
means
when he got to, go to some young lady's house in the French Quarter?
definitely wasn't young. It was like a mother of four.
Not a mother of four.
Maybe mother of five now.
Yeah.
Mother of four.
Why are you
Adrian.
mad?
Jealous.
Why are you mad at Dan?
Because Dan spent the entire week being late for everything.
What?
Oh, this
What?
is a new wrinkle. A new wrinkle. Dan O'Brien, what say you?
I have no clue what he's talking about.
Starting on Tuesday, I should have known. This should have been foreshadowing. What time were we supposed to meet at the hotel to go to the metro? 9:30. What time did we leave? 10 o'clock. I was at the hotel 9:30
Dan,
a.m.
were you late? Were you late to start the trip?
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, I'll show you the text. But I'm right and he's wrong.
Can
Dan
you
does
bring the
not have,
text up?
neither of them have the best track record for being on time for the show.
Really?
So I'd be okay saying that probably one of them was late. One of them had to get there first, obviously.
This is really close to a push, in my opinion. This
It's
is close
tough.
to a push. I understand completely the timing thing. I understand that for Adrian. I don't think that when you are in an environment with somebody that really isn't cool,
it's like a bad roommate in college,
with your substance of choice, that you do that. You've got to control yourself, but I think you're psychologically addicted to it, and that's probably why you do it. I mean, we've talked about it, but I don't know. I'm not your keeper. I don't know what's happening. So that's it. But when you talk about punctuality, and Adrian demonstrated to me, probably only maybe 2 occasions that I know where I wanted him to be somewhere, and bing bang,
he was
and
there.
I know he was sleepy the day that I was
in
leaving.
His car.
No.
And he walked in. We finished breakfast, and we walked into the lobby, and there he was.
And it only
which was
took
flawless
60
timing.
texts from me and Oscar to make sure he was there.
Oh, really?
Are you
now,
up?
Rob, would you like to
there?
weigh in on that?
Well, there were several instances when Adrian was key to your experience being right, checking into the hotel, picking stuff up, and I would say that in those
He's
instances,
responsible there.
Oscar and I were pushing him the entire way to make sure everything was okay.
He was a liability for us.
He might have been okay without the texts, but we weren't willing to take that risk.
Yeah. A lot of wrangling.
Did you feel that we were over babysitting you with the amount of texts that were rolling in?
A little bit, but I appreciate that though because you guys were looking out for me.
That's
Nice motivator.
That's Dan's
All right.
catchphrase.
And you know what? The end result is what I cared about, because at the end of the day, I thought it was okay. You know what? We all we had our postmortem on the weekend, and we know everything that was good and
Did
bad.
you
and
meet
ugly
any
about
women,
it.
Adrian?
Just listeners.
No
locals.
No sure things like
Dan
Merle?
O'Brien, have you maintained contact with the nurse?
No, I have not.
Sure things.
Attaboy. No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I shouldn't give him an attaboy. Not in this planet. That's terrible.
He said he went into her bathroom and there was poop on the floor.
Dog poop. Children's poop.
No!
Oh, God.
Oh, kids poop?
It was either a kid or a dog. I don't know.
But
with
she's
a
not
mother of
clean.
four.
A big dog or a small kid.
Doesn't keep a clean house. That's not cool. That's not cool.
Dan, I tucked you in, bro.
What?
I tucked you in, man.
What the
This
hell
guy
are you
comes
talking
in
about?
at 5 a.m.
Well,
all drunk.
Oh.
He just plops on the sofa bed. I'm like, you know what? He looks pretty cold. I'm gonna throw a blanket on him.
Did you
And
really?
he calls me out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
you know
my
he did
God.
that.
And
I'll
touched
give
his
him
balls.
You have
I
to.
don't know.
Okay. All right. On
He
that
won't
note,
remember this.
boys, you're gonna have to work it out on your own.
I'm a nurse.
By the way, it's a push. Last point, we don't have a I don't have a verdict. I can't do
rematch.
it. I truly can't do it. But
You gotta run a rematch.
You boys are gonna have to just patch it up. You're gonna have to
I
work
just
together
got
again.
this just now. My mom says, Adrian all the way, Dan is a square.
Square from Glenda.
Mama Blue.
Glenda. You don't get a vote, Glenda.
Oh, I think I just figured something out.
Oh.
Maybe the same reason Glenda didn't seem to react with any appreciable joy when you got the trip to Japan. Anyway, let's.
How dare you?
You see that? Seriously, it was like.
Maybe she was stunned.
Well, she knew, didn't she?
Anyway, we'll take a break and come back with the last audio fall of the week. Well, she didn't. I noticed it.
Shocked
I was
and
like,
stunned.
I cried. I had tears in my eyes. I had effing tears in my eyes. I'm like, Glenda, where's the emotion here?
Yeah, I cried because there'd be no one to post best of that week.
One question. Pony, you don't need to answer this. Does Glenda like
I don't have to
to
answer that.
Okay.
All right.
He speaks volumes.
We'll take a break and be back on the Pod Show.
Much more music.
This week on Rob Radio, the two sides of Quincy Jones, the connection between ONJ and EAP, the story behind American Bandstand, and of course, the greatest music ever made. Saturday morning at 7 on 97.1 FM in Ocean City or at 971thewave.com worldwide. Let's boogie!
Rob Spiewak.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Or is it?
Oh.
It's expensive. It's hectic. And there's never enough time unless you use Amazon. Using Amazon through your website, through our website, or our app is like having a workshop full of elves helping you at every turn. All the way with Kiki K. Kiki just bought a new ribbon for her vintage manual Royal typewriter. Her lengthy and tiresome annual Christmas letter will be extra easy to read this Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Jeff Hancock has a very special item to put under his tree this year, an Xbox One X.
Ooh.
The console's so nice they named it twice. And Jay Clyde bought some nice slacks. You're welcome, ladies. You see, Amazon truly sells everything, and at holiday time, that's a lifesaver. Do your shopping at Amazon, and please access it via Tmos. We told you about that today. Without further ado, we have the last audio vault of the week. Rob Spiewak, what do you have in the vault for us today?
All the way, Mike. All the way with Kiki K.
All the way with Kiki K. Hi, Keek.
We seldom get requests from Oscar for the audio vault, but he sent me a choice piece of tape. I noticed that you did not make the Kiss Cruise this year, Mike.
No, I missed it. Hey, do you see the video of Gene Simmons? Is that what you're going to play right now?
No, this is George Lopez.
Oh, George Lopez.
Drunk on the Kiss Cruise. And I think
on the Kiss Cruise?
And I think he perhaps traded out his appearance because he's doing some stand-up.
Weren't they supposed to be at the House of Blues for some event?
They were going to do a meet and greet at the House of Blues and then launch Sunday from New Orleans. But that event was canceled. But the Kiss Cruise, I believe, is probably just heading back to port about now. Here's drunk George Lopez. We have 2 clips here. It's not going well for George. Here he is talking about Gene Simmons, and you might say he loses the crowd.
And Gene Simmons was the first person to still use a filofax every day, pen and paper. He doesn't believe in the internet. He doesn't believe in email. If Gene Simmons is going to contact you, he almost will walk up to you and tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I'd like to see you Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon." Gene, what music do you listen to right now? Let's say this. Gene, what music do you listen to? But
listen to the crowd.
Really right going now, well.
I like Tame Impala.
Okay. Who's that? All right. Because he doesn't know from the iPod, like he just hears it in the air.
Hold on, Rob. Is he on stage? Is he doing a stand-up?
Doing a bit.
Just for the visual, imagine poolside, evening. It's dark. That's why you hear the wind and the sound.
Right.
They're outside open air stage, and it's a panel, and George is essentially hosting.
And he's got that drunk thing going where he's continually catching himself because he's swaying. You've seen it.
Yeah.
Probably me. Where you sway and catch, sway and catch. So and by the way, to make this totally clear, crystal, Kiss Cruise is spelled with a K. Just so you know.
And the band has come out and said, George was having a good time. No big deal.
So now
is Kiss on the boat?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and
it's a Kiss Cruise.
You pay a huge premium to partay with Chris. I'm Kiss.
Is Kiss near the stage where George Lopez is?
They are on lounge chairs on the stage with George Lopez.
Laughing their asses off at how drunk he is?
Well, no, Gene doesn't laugh.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy.
No, Gene doesn't laugh unless he gets paid to laugh. So then George Lopez turns his attention to Paul Stanley.
I want to ask Paul Stanley a question.
Great lead-in. Let's digest that. Ask Paul Stanley.
I want to ask Paul Stanley a question.
I want to ask Paul Stanley a question.
All right, George. What do you want to ask? Come on, man. You can ask stuff. Come on.
Good crowd.
Oh, no.
By the way, it's a boat entirely populated by Kiss fans
a friendly crowd.
that are so into Kiss that they have paid top dollar to be there, and
he's
booing.
up there, and he's up there trashing Kiss, right?
Yeah, but they're just
kind
booing
of
the whole notion
He's basically
of it.
trying to roast them, but he's so hammered he can't.
Yeah,
roast
it's not
them.
coming out right.
No.
Okay, I
You
got it.
don't want to hear George's question. Wow.
Paul Stanley.
And here we are, sitting on a cruise ship, and happy, and having a great time.
So don't boo me, motherfuckers.
Oh, George. You're not going to make it, bro.
The video ends with cruise ship security helping Mr. Lopez off the stage.
Oh, no.
They just cut him short, yeah.
Oh, no.
In the great words of George Lopez, don't boo me, MFers.
That seemed like a concerned Paul Stanley, though. He goes, "Oh, George, you're not going to make it, bro. We almost had it."
Yeah, it was so close. It was. If we had just started a half hour earlier.
A lot of fun.
I can't wait to see
it's
that
on
video.
TMZ. You can take it out. I don't like the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen. But
yeah, I don't either.
This makes it even worse because you have to imagine that under his suit, he might have open sores.
There's no way to get around how uncomfortable that is because it took about 3.5 hours to get it. So I'm there 3 hours before everybody, and then it takes a good hour and a half to get out.
Oh, poor you.
Here. He can't be in that any more than 6 hours because your skin doesn't breathe, and you get these sores all over you that literally they go, well, they'll go away. I hear them arguing in a room. They'll go away. What do you mean?
Santa has sores, Mike.
That's so nasty.
Isn't that gross?
God,
all right.
ew.
Anyone in the room have Google Assistant?
I do.
There is a thing on it called Random Fun.
Okay.
Oh, I
And
haven't
if you,
used that. No.
If you hit random fun, I didn't realize this even existed. You get this.
What's brown and sticky? A stick. It would take 6 million M&Ms to be as heavy as Michelangelo's marble statue of David, but only 4.2 thousand M&Ms to be as heavy as an Academy Award statuette. I've got a fortune for you. Today will be yesterday tomorrow. How do bovines do math? With a calculator.
Hold it, stop.
Yes.
What's wrong with you? What is wrong with
calculator.
you? You love that.
Well, the thing
They're dad jokes.
Yeah, but the thing that makes me laugh is that programmers had to go in and write like shtick for a computer. And,
Right.
and you know, and then it's probably months
But
and
if
months long.
if you heard someone on the staff say calculator, would you laugh at that?
I might.
Yeah, see, I knew that.
Well, Mike,
I knew that.
Mike yesterday on the show, right? And Rob and I do have a lot of fun, and it's not the same without you here, but we have a lot of fun.
We do the best we can.
The listeners are weighing in. I've got to tell you, it might be a regular
He
feature
rolled
soon.
through. He rolled through an opening with 4 hack jokes in a row, like the Google have fun whatever.
Yeah, it was
The calculator
joke.
It was
yeah,
the
yeah.
Rob Spiewak random fun button.
Yeah, and I said, no more hack jokes. Let's just do a show.
He loves it. Hey, the Mobbers, you heard, speaking of George Lopez getting booed, you heard me get booed a couple of times. They love the guy.
Yeah.
They love him.
He's so
you
put
hear
upon.
that?
If they could only truly know me, then they
He does-
would
you know,
hate me.
Rob the
He doesn't
human
play-
calculator.
He could play up the put upon a lot more than he does. I
Yeah,
appreciate him
it's so
not,
true.
not doing it.
It's
you know,
BS.
And he knows I love him, even though almost every other day I want to kill him.
I think most people that listen to this show hate us all equally.
That is so true.
I think so.
that's
I think
true.
you're probably. It's not the same people, but if you averaged out the
Right.
audience,
Yeah.
there'd be a smattering for each group.
But we
I
can
think so.
all agree that Dan looks ridiculous as a fireman. Let's
Nice
close with this.
screensaver.
Mike, as I always do, took some time this week to catch up. I binge watched the 700 Club. And do
Oh,
you realize
wonderful.
that it's still on? I can't believe it's still on.
Is that Fossil still hosting it?
Pat Robertson came off so creepy. He was talking about working out with his pretty young co-host.
Oh God!
Tell me this isn't creepy. We'll close with this, but this is a creep factor of 10.
I'm a great fan of the Total Gym. It is so easy to use. Your own weight is this thing that you work on. Have you used the Total Gym?
I haven't. I've seen the commercials. I've been tempted to order it.
Don't be tempted. Go get on one. If you want to, you can come up in my attic. You can use mine.
Come up in my attic. By the way, if I ever go up into Pat Robertson's attic, I'm bringing a pistol because I'm going up there to kill myself. That is your magic audio blog. Have a great weekend, everybody.
That's it, people. Thanks for joining us, Pat Robertson's Attic.
That is awesome.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of TMOS. Don't forget to update our brand new app today. Unlock the 24/7 TMOS stream. All massages for our weekly mailbag can be sent to Rob with 2 B's at MikeO'MaraShow.com. Our mailing address is TMOS, Box 32101, Washington, D.C., 20007. Thanks for listening, and join us again for the best part of your day, The Mike O'Mara Show. Bye-bye, everybody.
So long. Ciao, ciao.
One last thing. Please remember that MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon is the best way to shop for anything and everything. So, shop Amazon and get there through our website. Always open at MikeO'MaraShow.com/Amazon. Now, go in peace.
99 plus KFMH, Muscatine, Davenport, and Iowa City.
Mike O'Mara Radio Entertainment.